When to file a personal injury lawsuit? It's a common question we get, and it depends on a lot of factors. Each case is unique, so each case is probably going to be filed at a different time depending on the facts of that case. But there are some basic guidelines to follow, and really two of them surround the statute. Well, one of them surrounds the statute of limitations, and another guideline is the injured person still treating. So let's start with the statute of limitations. The statute of limitation, simply put, is a time period that someone has to either settle a case or file a lawsuit. It's a specific period defined by statute. In Ohio, for a injury caused by a car accident due to someone's negligence, the statute of limitation is 2 years from the date of the injury. So say you get in a car accident on January 1st of 2021, you're going to have to settle that case or file the lawsuit by January 1st of 2023. If you don't file a lawsuit or settle before the expiration of that statute of limitation, you're going to be barred from bringing that claim. It's an absolute defense. You'll get no compensation if you don't comply with that statute of limitation. So that's really the first thing to look at when deciding whether to file a lawsuit. If you have an injury claim and that 2 years is coming up and you haven't filed a lawsuit, haven't settled, well, you're going to want to file that lawsuit. So that's really the first thing that dictates when you file a personal injury lawsuit. Well, say statute of limitation isn't really an issue, but you're still treating, still suffering from the injuries you sustained in the car accident, still going to a doctor, whether it's chiropractic, your primary care, physical therapy, perhaps you may need a surgery and some rehab after that surgery. You're not going to want to file a lawsuit while you're still receiving that treatment in general, as long as the statute of limitation isn't an issue, because while you're still treating, you're still incurring medical expense. That's a measure of damages. You're not going to know the full extent of your damages while you're still treating. So in general, it doesn't make sense to file a lawsuit while you are still treating. Say the statute of limitation happens to be coming up, you're still treating, well, then you're going to want to file the lawsuit. You can still continue to treat after you file that lawsuit, but again, that statute of limitation, you need to file a lawsuit before then, and if you're still treating, then you're going to have to. But in general, when the statute of limitation isn't an issue and you're still treating, you're not going to want to file that lawsuit. So let's move on to sort of the next step. Okay, you're done treating, you have all your medical expense, all your medical records. If you have lost wages, a lost wage report, you've submitted that to the insurance adjuster who's handling your claim. Do you file a lawsuit right after you submit everything to the insurance adjuster? You're probably not going to want to do that. You want to engage in some negotiations with the insurance company before filing a lawsuit, because filing a lawsuit, it could be costly. The initial filing fee is several $100s in most courts. So you get all your information, all the bills and records to the insurance adjuster. You start negotiations. The adjuster will no doubt first come back with some lowball offer that you will no doubt decline. You'll make a demand, and there'll be some back and forth. Insurance adjuster will go up a bit with the offer. Injured person will go down a bit with the demand, but sometimes negotiations stall and you sort of hit a roadblock, and the adjuster won't put any more money on the table, and you're not willing to reduce your demand because you think that demands fair compensation. At that point, that's probably when you want to file a lawsuit, no matter where you're at with regard to the statute of limitation. The statute of limitation could be a year away. If negotiations have stalled, you're probably going to want to file that lawsuit. And an interesting thing to note is many insurance companies, once a lawsuit is filed, they'll transfer the claim to a separate adjuster who just handles litigation claims. And a lot of times that, maybe not a lot of times, but sometimes that adjuster right off the bat will reach out and increase the offer just because a lawsuit was filed by that simple fact. So sometimes it's a good strategy to take just to file a lawsuit if you're dealing with an insurance company. That does seem to increase offers once those lawsuits are filed. So that's just sort of some general guidelines when it comes to filing a personal injury lawsuit. Sometimes the statute of limitation, 2 years in Ohio for a car accident due to negligence. Sometimes that statute of limitation is going to dictate when you file a lawsuit, but a lot of times it just depends on how the treatment's going and whether you're still treating or whether you're done treating.